It's been good. I've been really good. Just been trying to stay positive, work through everything that's going on.
Hell yeah.
Just keep busy.
It started with anxiety or started with depression?
Yeah, depression.
Yeah.
So that came
how
about.
that started, yeah.
Yeah, so when I was 15 years old, I was always like a bit of a sensitive kid. Like I was always like, wasn't say I was in touch with my emotions, but like I always got upset pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then my dad was diagnosed with cancer when I was 15.
Yeah.
And it was a really early detection. I was really lucky, everything was fine, but it wasn't the illness itself, but the process of just going through radiation and like everything that's happening. And he's obviously out of the picture for a while because he's recovering, and then you buy it. So I just feel like the person had to grow up really quick.
Yeah.
And what that led me to was just sitting by myself a lot, like in the dark in my room. Like I was just trying to do everything for myself. I wasn't talking to anybody.
Yeah.
I had no outlet, so I was just like bottling everything up, all my emotions.
Yeah.
And then I had a few other traumatic experiences that like I won't get into, but it just really affected my mental health, but I didn't really know it yet.
Yeah.
I just started getting upset all the time. I was just in bad moods. Like I was just sitting by myself and I just had no real outlet.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that's where it sort of started, but it was undiagnosed.
Yeah.
At that point, I didn't want to tell anyone about it. I didn't tell anyone anything. I just sort of kept it to myself.
Yeah.
And then, so I was at school. A few teachers like started noticing things. They tried to send me to a counsellor. Yeah. But I was like typical male bloke. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to talk about that shit. Like, I don't really want to do that. So I went and saw her once, said I was fine, like, just kept going. And then I was good for a bit. And then it was just like an up and down roller coaster. You get through phases. Yeah, and then just a bit later I realised towards the start of this year, last year, that I wasn't fine. Like it sort of just progressively got worse because I was avoiding it a lot.
Yeah.
And then, long story short, I had a few episodes. It was down in a really dark place. And then I just, one day just had to go, I'm going to see someone.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And that was like what, 4 years it kind of took you to really start?
Yeah, almost 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like when you're going through that as a young kid, no young kid is able to articulate their emotions and actually describe it to someone because they don't even know what's going on. Yeah. Like same for me, I was confused about everything. I didn't know how to explain anything.
Yeah.
So I just bottle it up and you mask it because you don't want people interfering and
100% just think it's harder for men as well. Like I know I'm not trying to stereotype anything, but men are definitely the ones that are not going to talk about their feelings. Yeah. And they're men, like the friends are supportive and like they try their best, but you're not going to tell them anything anyway, so they're not going to know to be supportive. Like I think girls are just a lot more in touch with themselves. They are, and they're just able to talk about their problems a lot more freely. Definitely. Which is something that needs to change, I guess. Yeah, I think it's definitely changed, but it's also like there's still like the kind of generation who are just like, oh, just man up, just stop thinking too much. That's tough guy stuff. Yeah, the tough guy stuff, which is I feel like once I got past that, I was like I was just more secure with myself. I was more happy. I was even a couple of my friends who were going through things. We all just were in our own bubble of just like safety, and there wasn't any oh, you're weak, or like there wasn't any of that type. I 100% agree. Stereotype. How would you, I guess, because this was something that started with your father getting cancer. Yeah. How would you best describe that feeling? Was it like a scary feeling, or like you just didn't know what was going to happen? Yeah, so like it obviously starts out with like the fear and just like being constantly scared. Yeah. But then like after a while it just sort of turns into like this dull ache inside, and like your emotions just sort of like always negative. Honestly, I only have one friend that sort of knows about my issues. I did have like a bit of a mental breakdown at one point after a few years, and I was just like really opened up to this one friend who like kind of like, it wasn't like life changing, but I was just really glad that I did it. Like I think a lot of my friends will look back at this and be like, holy shit, I had no idea. Just because I'm like a bit of a private person, like I was really uncomfortable and had anxiety about my issues itself. Like I had a real anxiety about people knowing what I was going through, because I didn't want them to treat me any differently. Yeah, of course. I didn't want to be seen any differently in anyone else's eyes. I kind of just wanted to be like same old Jake, but I guess that sort of led to that fake smile that I kept putting on. Like I had to keep going out and just like smiling, pretending like everything was fine all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one friend was kind of just like a really good outlet. And I think it was just refreshing to me because a lot of my issues came from avoiding and bottling up.
Yeah.
Like it just sort of built on each other, and it sort of got to the extent it did because I didn't have anyone to talk to.
Yeah.
So I think that one friend and that one friend was just a support network for me. And like I'm really stoked to have him in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, so one night like I just got really upset with myself and I was in such a dark place and I sort of just lost myself to a really bad spot, and I tried to commit suicide. And I was just thinking about it for a long time, and it was something that I was really struggling with. And then my mum happened to walk in at that point.
Wow.
And I sort of just like broke down crying and just like, I'm so thankful that she did that at that point. It was just like fate that she was there. And my mum just held me for a couple of hours while I was just sobbing and crying like a big sook.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so glad, like that was just my darkest point. It was like I lost myself, I just blacked out completely from my personality. Something just else came over me.
Yeah.
And like, I've definitely had other thoughts and times like that in the past, but they were never to that extent. Like I think I've just bottled it up for so long and I was going through such a dark time that enough was a bit of enough.
Yeah.
And it was really hard for me after that, but I'm so thankful that that event happened.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I'm just glad that I can be open about it now because it's really important. Like people do go through that stage of just losing themselves in that 1 split seconds, 50-50. Like I always think like sometimes I know I could have went the other way and things just could have changed drastically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found like exercise was really big for me.
Yes. You.
Like I'm not very good at running, but like obviously I do it because it's just good to clear your head. Like I definitely run. I don't like to run alone, so I run with friends every Monday, and I feel like that's massive for my mental health. Like just having someone to talk to while I run, it's a good positive outlet. Obviously gyms have been closed, so like that was a bit hard for a while.
Yeah. But
yeah, like I just found like a boxing bag was pretty good too. Just throwing the gloves on, and I think like the non-exercise thing that was just really good for me was just like going for a swim. Yeah. Like down at fisheries, just chuck your swimmers on, just like head under. I think that was just a massive refreshing moment for me. Yeah,
like water therapy is like huge. Like I'll just kind of immerse myself and just float for a bit.
Yeah.
Just not, because it's like when you're underwater, you don't hear anything.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of just in your own little zone.
Yeah.
So that's great. You got a couple of activities, and it's good you got some consistency as well. Like every Monday, you got people who you rely on and they rely on you to kind of to fulfill that, to go on a run. Yeah, that's good.
That's a massive point. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's great to establish them early on because they're with you forever. Like you're always going to be able to go for runs as much as you can, for the next how many years. So finish off with one last thing. What's some advice from yourself you would give to anyone out there who's struggling the same?
Bit of advice to people that are struggling, just definitely like find someone that supports you and then just try and have that conversation. Whether you do it in parts, whether you do it in one go, just find someone that you can talk to and maybe just express that you're not fine. Because from there they can sort of train themselves to be able to, just be your friend and be able to have a good conversation about your mental health, because from that you're only going to get something positive out of it.
Yeah.
You're only going to get better by coming forward earlier rather than just letting it and sitting and damaging. Yeah, like I hope for people that are going through it and they see this, they're just like, hey, you know what, maybe it's time. Maybe this is time to open a conversation, because it all just starts with a conversation. Yeah. Everything, you just want to look out for yourself and your mental health, and you just want to make sure everyone's safe and happy. Yeah. Yeah.
It feels so good to actually say something and to cry a bit. I've found like it actually feels so good.
Crying's the best.
Yeah. It's honestly
crying's so good.
It feels good after.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's so good.
Sweet.